University of Idaho students. The killings changing the tight-knit community of Moscow forever. As the case against suspect Bryan Kohberger moves through the courts, we look back at the heartache, the hunt for answers, and the long road to justice. Sarah Jacobson takes us through the 28 months leading up to the highly anticipated trial.
On November 13th, 2022, Moscow police responded to a grisly scene at an off-campus home. The 4 students were found brutally stabbed to death, with authorities later confirming some had defensive wounds and were likely attacked as they slept.
They were all murdered through stabbing with some kind of probably a larger knife.
The town of Moscow, known for its tranquility, was left in fear, and the police, the community, and victims' families began a heart-wrenching journey for justice.
This is stuff that shouldn't happen, especially in a small, quiet town like Moscow is, where we're heavily involved with the university.
I never would have thought that this would have happened here. A lot of people left last night, and then we were one of the only ones who actually stayed here last night. My mom has called me every single hour for since 7 a.m. this morning. So yeah, they want me to come home if I don't feel safe.
In the days that followed, investigators piecing together the victims' final hours. Kaylee Gonzalez and Madison Mogan had been at a local food truck after a night out, while Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle had attended a Sigma Chi party. Despite mounting pressure, police initially announced few public breakthroughs, leading to a sense of frustration in the public and those still in Moscow.
4 people were stabbed to death in their home, and to not have anyone as a suspect, I moved here because it felt safer than where I was coming from.
Investigators are working to follow up on all leads and to identify a person of interest. Based on details at the scene, we believe this was an isolated, targeted attack on our victims. We do not have a suspect at this time, and that individual is still out there. We cannot say that there's no threat to the community, and as we have stated, please stay vigilant.
It was nerve-wracking to hear them say that we are no longer totally safe, since their first comment in the beginning was that we were safe, so it was definitely a change that made a lot of my friends and I uncomfortable.
The Moscow Police Department sent out daily updates on the investigations, but many focused not only on addressing misinformation within the community, but also the spreading of lies and speculation online.
Best thing that most people can do to help is to stop with any kind of rumors and just seek official information that comes out of the Moscow Police Department.
By early December, authorities honing in on a white Hyundai Elantra seen near the crime scene. Weeks later, on December 30th, 2022, the case took a major turn. Bryan Kohberger, a PhD student at Washington State University, just 8 miles from Moscow, was arrested in Pennsylvania.
Thank you for coming today. Last night, in conjunction with the Pennsylvania State Police, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, detectives arrested 28-year-old Bryan Christopher Kohberger in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, on a warrant for murders of Ethan, Xana, Madison, and Kaylee.
The arrest capped nearly 7 weeks of fear and frustration for the families of the 4 murdered students.
This is the first bit of joy that we've had in close to 7 weeks. We hope that they've picked the right guy, and that gives us hope, and we haven't had hope for a long time.
We never lost faith that this case would be solved and are grateful for the hard work of the Moscow Police Department and their law enforcement partners.
Investigators say DNA evidence on a knife sheath at the crime scene, along with phone and surveillance data, linked Kohberger to the murders. Kohberger was extradited to Idaho in January of 2023 and charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and burglary.
Count 2 alleges that you committed the felony offense of murder in the first degree. The maximum penalty for that offense, if you plead guilty or are found guilty, is up to death and/or imprisonment for life. Do you understand?
Yes.
Court documents reveal chilling details. DNA evidence, a witness account of a masked figure fleeing the scene, and alleged gaps in Kohberger's cell phone activity during the murders. Prosecutors have since announced their intent to pursue the death penalty. Prosecutors saying the killings were especially heinous, and Kohberger exhibited utter disregard for human life. Both the defense and prosecution anticipate a lengthy trial. Koberger's defense has questioned the validity of DNA evidence and challenged Idaho's death penalty laws.
I understand the stakes in this case are as high as they can possibly be in any case, but you are professionals. You have taken oaths, both as of officers within your jurisdictions, but also as attorneys before this bar.
The case has seen its share of delays after extensive pretrial motions and a decision to move the trial out of Latah County. The trial date has been set for August 2025 in Ada County. The venue was changed after Koberger's defense attorneys successfully argued that extensive media coverage and strong emotions in the university town would make it difficult to find an impartial jury. Judge Stephen Hippler laying out expectations for the defense and prosecuting attorneys.
So I expect at all times for you to remain civil to one another, that you not engage in personal attacks, ad hominem attacks, that you not engage in theatrics.
Now, Koberger's defense team is pushed to have a substantial portion of the evidence against him thrown out, claiming it hinges on an unconstitutional investigative method. The process in question is investigative genetic genealogy, or IgG, which uses genealogical databases to identify potential suspects through familial DNA connections. The defense argues this technique violated